King Fritz is the reason pure titans are cannibalistic. Before I get started with this video, I do want to say that there are anime spoilers in this theory. So if you aren't caught up to at least episode 80 from 2,000 years ago, I wouldn't recommend watching this video because it probably just wouldn't make sense. But if you are caught up, this theory might just change your mind about the pure titans in Attack on Titan. So King Fritz is the reason that pure titans are cannibalistic. What do we know about pure titans? Pure titans are those without humanity, opposed from titan shifters who do contain their humanity. Since pure titans don't keep their humanity from their original human form, their only goal is to gain their humanity back. And to do so, they eat humans. And they stay away from anything else. They wouldn't bat an eye at a pig or a cow or any of that, no. They target humans. Why? Because out of this large group of humans, there are 9 titan shifters, which if they manage to eat, they will regain their humanity. I mean, aside from this one titan who forgot to chew. So he was so close to getting his humanity back, but Santa Claus forgot how to chew on his cookies. So we know that pure titans are trying to eat humans to gain their humanity back. And we also know that pure titans are weak at the nape. Those are the 2 main qualities that pure titans have. They're wild and seek human blood. So why do I believe pure titans being cannibalistic leads all the way back to King Fritz and Ymir? Yes, the first act of cannibalism. Well, if I'm being honest, I was scrolling one day on TikTok and I found an Attack on Titan post. In the comments section, they're having this interesting conversation about King Fritz. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but let me paraphrase it for you guys. King Fritz is the most inhumane Attack on Titan character. He didn't even know that having Maria Rose and Sheena eat Ymir would actually pass down the founding Titans' powers. Actually, it's quite the opposite. The reason Titans passed down through cannibalism is because of Fritz's first acts of cannibalism. And that really had me thinking, wait, could we really flip the script like that? Is King Fritz really the reason that all this cannibalism occurred? If he never had his daughters eat Ymir, would all this mindless destruction not have happened? Now I really sat there and pondered this for a while, because all this wild destruction is what Attack on Titan's been about since season 1. These mindless pure titans that seem to be the first enemy attack humans. And this really had me thinking, did the actions of the past, more specifically the action of King Fritz and Ymir in their time, set the foundation for titans as a whole for centuries to come? Why would this make sense? Why would it make sense that rules of the Titan abilities were all made from the past? Well, I mean, they're not gods and they're not tools, they're humans. Humans tend to make mistakes and not draw the right answer, but actions of the past do tend to shape the future, which is why I'm led to believe that the actions of the past really did set the foundation for Titans as a whole. To answer this question, we really have to set out the parameters or rules of the founding Titan abilities and just Titans in general as a whole. If we think about all the Titan abilities and rules, parameters, it can be broken up into 2 different sections. One, the parameters set by the hallucigenia. Yes, this weird spinal creature that Ymir found in the cave when she was about to die. Was it really a cave? Or should I really say the base of this huge tree? Well, whatever. This weird alien creature is the main unknown, right? Because we don't really know a lot about it. We know that it's caused supernatural Titan shifting abilities, but like, where does it even draw that power from? There's too many unknowns about this hallucigenia to actually make any conclusions off of it. But we do know a couple things that humans didn't have any control of. These would be the parameters set by the hallucigenia. The main parameter would be the weaknesses of Titans. So that would be the nape of both Titan shifters and pure Titans. Titan shifters are stored in the nape of their own Titan. And of course, the only way to kill a pure Titan is by going for its nape. This is the primary parameter we have from the hallucigenia, right? But the second set of parameters that we know about Titan shifting abilities would be parameters of the Titans that were set from actions in the past. So this would be the past dimension. The past dimension was created from the founding Titan Ymir because of her past trauma as a slave serving King Fritz. It's safe to assume if Ymir wasn't mentally bounded to King Fritz, that this past dimension may not have ever been created. Another parameter we know is a parameter mainly for the founding Titan and royal blood, which would be the founding war of renouncement. While this only affects Titan shifters of royal blood, we know that this shackle was set by King Fritz and his promises of the past. It is safe to assume that Halluciogenia didn't really care much at all about royal blood. I mean, what makes blood royal to an alien? The Halluciogenia ended up bonding to Ymir. Ymir was originally a slave, and she still was considered a slave after death, a slave to the royal family. The only reason the Halluciogenia recognizes the royal blood is because of Ymir's mindset and thoughts in the past. So it's safe to assume the alien's connection to the royal family is all because of Ymir of the past. This third parameter, I'm actually not sure if this one is parameter set by the Halluciogenia or parameter set by Ymir. And this one is the will to live and transform. We see this when Ymir stops healing after saving the king. Maybe because of the king's reaction, Ymir lost the will to live and lost the will to serve the king in life, and therefore she couldn't transform. I'm not sure if this one is a Halluciogenia parameter or just from the actions of the past. It's possible that Ymir right then in that moment just gave up and said, I don't want to transform anymore. So please, alien, stop making me transform. And this could have been a parameter set by the past. But we can't be too sure about this one. What we are sure about is the next parameter, the curse of Ymir. Yes, the curse that entails 13 years to live for any Titan shifter. Why the number 13 specifically? Because Ymir only held the founding Titan shifting abilities for 13 years before she died. And this basically restricted every other Titan shifter from living past that point. It probably wasn't a parameter that Ymir wanted to set, but because she died at that age, this parameter was set by actions of the past. So if we have all these rules that seem to be set by the past, why wouldn't Titan inheritance work that same way? I believe if King Fritz attempted it, they could have constructed some sort of ritual to transfer the Titans. Whether this be like a blood transfusion, maybe a prayer, or even a dance. There's a lot of possibilities you could think about before moving on straight to cannibalism. But King Fritz didn't really have that much time to think about this, because at the moment when he had Maria, Rose, and Sheena eat their mother, Ymir was dead. So King Fritz didn't really know how much time he had to transfer the powers of the Titans, but he thought, hey, might as well go for cannibalism, because why not? King Fritz was definitely rushed, but if he tried to think about it earlier, he might have been able to come up with another ritual. It is possible he panicked because maybe the reason he bred with Ymir was because he thought that immediately their daughters would inherit those same Titan shifting abilities. But since that wasn't the case, he thought, hey, eat your mother. It's bound to work. And so the real question is, did that work? Did they get the abilities because of the cannibalism? Because if we really think about it, we kind of forgot one parameter, that a Titan holder has to be alive for a subject of Ymir to gain the Titan shifting abilities. Now this parameter is actually bigger than any of the other parameters because this one is directly about inheritance. Yes, the Titan holder has to be alive when they get eaten by a pure Titan. And what happens if they die before they are able to get eaten? Well, it is known that when a Titan holder dies, their Titan shifter abilities are given at random to a newborn subject of Ymir. Now what does this parameter have to do with the original act of cannibalism? Well, let's see here. If you're thinking what I'm thinking, Ymir isn't alive when her daughters are eating at her flesh. Yes, if this parameter only applies for when Titan shifters are alive, then Ymir had to have been alive for her daughters to have successfully gained the Titan shifter abilities. And also think about it, Titan abilities stack. So if these abilities were given to each Marina, Rose, and Sheena, then it must have actually transferred through another method, a method other than cannibalism. So it makes sense if these shifting abilities were passed down one by one at random to the current subjects of Ymir's, which would only really extend to Ymir's current bloodline. I mean, think about it. What would happen if Aaron right now got eaten alive by 3 different children? Would they each gain one of his abilities? Would he die while being cannibalized and none of the abilities pass over and instead be given to a random subject of Ymir? The second option seems more likely because the Titan Shifters have to be alive. So Ymir had to have been alive for her abilities to pass down to one person. If Ymir did get eaten by 3 children, it's likely that only one of those 3 children would get the abilities. But the Titan Shifter abilities being transferred over to another user without the act of cannibalism is evidence enough that cannibalism wasn't necessary to pass down the Titan Shifter abilities. In fact, it was probably Ymir in the past who guided her abilities down to her daughters, just to be of use to the king. Which means this whole scene right here wasn't really necessary. They didn't really have to eat their mother, but they were forced to anyways. And since the hallucinogenia follows Ymir, and whatever happens to her pretty much sets the parameters, having her flesh being eaten became a way to pass down the Titan shifting abilities. Both him and Ymir had the ability to shape history for centuries to come. They set the rules for the new generations. And this wasn't a rule that had to be set. This didn't have to happen, but it did happen. So yes, King Fritz is truly the inhumane person of this whole show. So many people didn't have to die because King Fritz got too greedy. What would be to come of pure Titans if cannibalism didn't pass down Titan shifting abilities? Well, I'd imagine pure Titans keeping a vegetarian diet and probably not killing humans at random. If it wasn't for this act of cannibalism, then there most likely wouldn't be a way for pure Titans to gain their humanity back. And with no way to gain their humanity back, they would be stuck. Stuck as a pure Titan until death or experimentation. But hey, this is just one of my many theories of Attack on Titan. If you do enjoy these type of anime theories, please be sure to sub to the channel, and I'll keep you guys updated with more of my thoughts on this anime.